We also thought this was interesting. This grabbed our attention. Back in 2016, Kobe spoke with sports website The Ringer. He actually talked about death at the time. Now listen to what he had to say.
What's your relationship with death?
A comfortable one.
Yeah?
It's a comfortable one. It's an understanding. You can't have life without death, can't have light without the dark, right? So it's an acceptance of that. When it came time to decide whether or not I should retire, that's really an acceptance of that mortality that all athletes face, right? And if you combat it, you'll have always that inner struggle within yourself, you know what I mean? And so I'm comfortable with it.
Wow.
Not just athletes face that, right? Sure. I mean, everyone, you reach that age and you go, and you have to reckon with it.
I think that was something that came up yesterday. You know, it's one thing when sports heroes and actors and famous people in general, when they pass away. But when they're in your peer group, you know, we're about the same age.
We are the exact same age.
And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, Kobe Bryant, that.
It hits home.
Right.
Yeah. It hits home because of that. And again, when we found out about Gianna, it was like a 1-2 punch. I think that hurts too.
But I do think the one thing, if there's any good that comes out of this, is that I think the expressions of gratitude and about love and about the fragility of life and expressing to those who are in your circle how you feel about them, what they mean to you. I personally saw an uptick in that, and I think others have been seeing that.
I think there's always something to be learned from the event that shocks you out of your normal every day. And this clearly, for so many people in this country, shocked them out of their normal day. And they said, wait a minute, I need to reflect. And that kind of reflection isn't just important for the people who knew and loved the people on this helicopter. It's for all of us.
All of us, absolutely.